told me he would kill you.
He can't.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 most difficult trophies to pop across the God of War games.
Thank you, friends. You have saved the Valkyries.
Sigrun.
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Chooser of the Slain, God of War 2018. This is the greatest challenge you'll face in the 2018 God of War, as you will have to face and defeat all 9 Valkyries in the game. But you want to know the funny part in all this? The first 8 are all fairly easy, as they only use a few attacks, some of them using the same attacks as another Valkyrie. Sigrun, the 9th Valkyrie, is the one that may make you sweat. Sigrun plays super aggressively and will rush you down, giving you very little time to breathe and process what's happening. Even on the easiest difficulty, she's no pushover, unless you look up a guide. Trials by Fire, God of War Ragnarok. While Ragnarok's trophies are just as straightforward as God of War 2018's, it does not mean there isn't one trophy that may give you some trouble. Trial by Fire is that trophy, as it requires you to complete the Trials of Muspelheim. Think of this as the new and expanded iteration of Challenge of the Gods, as you will have to tackle 24 challenges. Each of these will test your combat prowess, demanding that you simply defeat every enemy without getting hit, or survive a gauntlet of consecutive boss fights. This may make you sweat even a little bit. Bleeding Thumbs, God of War 2. Speaking of Challenge of the Gods, this post-game mode has long been infamous for imposing grueling tasks onto players. While God of War 2 eased up on these compared to its predecessor, that does not mean it's suddenly super easy. You will have to endure this mode once more for the Bleeding Thumbs trophy. Known here as Challenge of the Titans, you will go through 7 challenges instead of 10. The first 6 shouldn't give you too much trouble, but the 7th will be a pain in the ass. The 7th challenge is one of those perfection challenges. Defeat all enemies without getting hit once. We recommend you prioritize the skeletons and avoid hitting the Minotaur until all skellies are dead. The Minotaur won't attack unless you attack it. Amazed, God of War 3.
Power to create, the power to destroy. The King of the Gods has forsaken me.
God of War 3 has some pretty tough trophies of its own, as we'll see later on. One of the most annoying trophies is the Amazed trophy. For this, you will need to get through the entire labyrinth without falling off or dying. Easier said than done, honestly. This means surviving all of the fights and successfully jumping across all gaps and ledges to the correct areas. And there are even some instant death traps you will have to avoid mid-combat too. It might be in your best interest to not attempt this on Titan mode. Just saying. Lubed Up, God of War Ascension. Most of Ascension's trophies shouldn't pose too much of a threat to you, at least according to the percentage of players who have earned each trophy. However, the biggest hurdle you may face is Lubed Up. Remember the statue of Apollo and that abysmal sliding section? Yeah, you're going to have to suffer through that whole thing again without dying. Veteran God of War players may not have too much issue with this, but for average players, this might require a few attempts. Speed of Jason McDonald, God of War HD. The only way this trophy will give you trouble is if you're attempting this under a normal playthrough. Definitely do not go for this on your first run, or if you haven't played the game in ages. To pop the Speed of Jason McDonald trophy, you will have to beat God of War in less than 5 hours. The reason for this is because one person on the God of War team, sound and music scripter Jason McDonald, managed to beat the game faster than anybody else on the team did at just a little over 5 hours. McDonald has made a name for himself within the franchise, having served as a combat designer for God of War 2 and Ascension, as well as a lead designer for God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. So, popping this trophy means you have bested one of the few people who has been working on the franchise for their entire life. Up to the challenge, God of War 3. Yes, Challenge of the Gods returns to the list once more with God of War 3, this time under the name Challenge of Olympus. Overall, this one is the most fun and creative of all the post-game challenge modes. Problem is that the toughest challenge is the third one. Allow the Gorgons to turn you to stone and break free 10 times without dying. You can tell this either filtered players out or it wasn't even attempted by players, as according to PSN profiles, only 6% have managed to pop this trophy on PlayStation 3. As for the PS4 remaster, only a little more than 3% of players managed to conquer this mode. All-Father Blind, God of War 2018. If there was one aspect of God of War 2018 that we could not stand, it was Odin's damn birds. These feathered freaks were super annoying to find, as there was rarely ever a clue in finding them. We were required to find 51 of these guys, and your best way of finding them on your own was to play the entire game with headphones or with your TV at a high volume. Even then, you're bound to miss several of these guys, and the game doesn't give you a shred of information as to which ones you've nabbed, where some of them might be hiding, not even a total you found in each region. You basically have to play the game with a guide if you want to eviscerate every single one. It may not be hard finding them all, but it's obnoxious enough to call it hard. Hard to tolerate, that is. Unhuman, God of War 3. Your task is simple for this trophy. Beat the game on the hardest difficulty, Titan mode. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just in case you didn't hear us though, this is the absolute hardest difficulty in the game. That's not counting Chaos mode though, because there's no trophy for beating that, so who in their right mind would even attempt that? But anyways, under Titan mode, Kratos is horrendously debuffed as he deals way less damage than his enemies do and takes in more damage. In other words, you will have to be at the top of your game to make it out of this one alive. I'll take the physical challenge, God of War HD. There will never be a Challenge of the Gods as excruciatingly, as painfully difficult as the original God of War. If you are adamant about gunning for that legendary platinum trophy, you will have to beat all 10 sections of Challenge of the Gods, all of which can be comically easy or annoyingly frustrating. And no, you cannot save and back out and come back mid-progress. You have to do it all in one go. The worst part of this whole challenge, though, is that in the very last challenge, you must knock off baby Cerberuses from a platform in order to raise it to your goal. Not only that, you need to do so while 2 invincible satyrs attack you, and those satyrs do have an attack that can fling you over the edge. What the hell, Jaffe? What was going on in your head when developing this game? But what's the toughest trophy you've earned in a God of War game? Share with us in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.